the show in the morning. It's great having him with us. Dave, wow. I just said yesterday that they're going to stick this thing out with Tua and try to win every game. And apparently what I saw and everybody else saw during that game, and you, of course, were writing it so well in the Sun Sentinel, this quarterback play has just gotten worse. And apparently he has noticed.
We're done. The Tua era is over. He will not play. I'm sure.
You don't think
they're
he comes
moving
back?
on.
You don't think this
No.
afternoon, when this final announcement's going to be made, that he goes, we've evaluated everything, and we still believe Tua's the guy. He's doing enough good things, and we can still work. Listen, he's had a bad year. It's not an average year. He's had a bad year. This has been a bad year. Overall, and I know he had the nice throw in the corner against the Chargers, that should have won the game, and that wasn't his fault, that they had a nice return, and then the breakdown on defense to set him up for the winning field goal. But he threw a couple crappy picks at the end of a couple of games that cost us, and he just hasn't been very good. And we're so limited. See, here I go, Dave. I bring you in, and then I start yapping about my frustration.
You go, Joe. That's how everybody's feeling right now, and it's strange in the last year how the pendulum swung. Even the people who back Tua now are understanding his limitations, and his limitations have become so limiting that Mike has to try to hide Tua. I mean, here's the issue with the Dolphins right now. Your highest paid player is your biggest problem. And you
period.
You talk
not up for debate.
No, you're going through games. I mean, that 4-game winning streak, they were a ball control defense first team.
Correct.
And hide the quarterback like he was a rookie, like he was a 45-year-old
Don't
veteran.
allow him to make a mistake. Short, safe passes. Don't throw it a lot. I mean, hell, he's throwing for 130 or 40 or 50 yards a game, and mostly like H-hand passes and short passes. We're not even getting Waddle involved in the offense down the field. That's a waste.
Well, you saw why in Monday night. He threw how long was that interception? 25 yards, maybe 30 yards at the most.
Took forever to come down.
And it was like an ephus pitch. It got hung up by the wind. It was so slow. And defensive caught on. Oh, we don't need to play deep because he can't throw.
I thought
deep.
Steelers stacked the line and took it. They're a terrible run defensive team. They'd given up 200-yard plus games their last two. Buffalo Bills, without their starting tackles, ran the football down the Steelers' throats and destroyed them. 240 yards. The Ravens come back. They run, even though they lose the game. A couple of bad calls. They go for over 200 yards. I thought we were going to do the same thing, and now they've got a bunch of their key guys on defense out, 3 starters not playing, and they stacked it. And it was a great game plan. Listen, it was a great game plan. But I got to tell you, Dave, you and I have been down here for a long, long time doing this as 2 old guys. I was surprised because I thought Mike was going to spin it and leave it alone, and you were there. I
was with you. I was with you. I thought, because I wrote a column actually after the game. It went up on the Sun Sentinel website about 10 o'clock in the morning saying we're done with Tua. But I thought my point was at the end of the year, I thought he would ride him out to the end of the season.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
look, it was either his decision or he was told, and that's something where we won't know about because it was. Look, Mike has done. I think he's done an incredible job.
I do too. By the way, I'm not a Mike hater. He's different. He's a different cat, but I think he's a pretty good coach.
It's almost like it'd be a shame if he goes now because he's learned how to be a head coach. You're seeing his
I've seen him change a lot.
Yeah.
I noticed it in the hotel in the morning or early. I talked to him. We had one of those very rare one-on-one moments. And he's grown. This job, it's not like he's going to come out and say, I've made a lot of mistakes and I've learned from them, but he's kind of gotten through this. And the final one was that connection I developed him. He's my guy. Went to bat for him. I probably went. That was probably a learning lesson too. Going all in on a guy that shouldn't have a franchise quarterback salary.
It was an look. The Dolphins have had 2 first-year coaches. They listened to way too much. There should have been somebody in the organization as a check and balance to them.
When
Mike McDaniel says he pounds the table to give Tua a contract, somebody had to stand up, and it had to be the GM. And you're right, it wasn't going to be Chris Greer, but that's the position. Has to stand up and say, we're bidding against ourselves. No one is going to offer this guy $50 million a year for a weak-armed, limited running,
concussion away,
health problem,
for never getting a chance to play.
So let him play out. We'll give him $30 million, something, but not 50. Not make him one of the highest paid players in the league. And you talk about dysfunction. There is Dolphin dysfunction that's gonna be expensive to get out from now.
Well, I got to tell you, so today he said, this afternoon he's going to know. I'm guessing he's already had a serious conversation with Tua. Listen, Tua can't believe in any way. Yesterday, we played some of the sound clips. We didn't play them all. Probably should have played more of them. But he's talking about we and how special it is to play. There's no we. Like, you need to look in the mirror. Like, I know what part, when I played, I knew what part of our team was a weakness. I knew how I was playing. I knew guys knew how I was playing and what.
Does he see what everybody else? There's the self-awareness factor is a question to me when he's talking, as he does after every game, about meetings. We got to talk about that. All he should be standing up and saying for most of this year after games is, I got to be better. My team I'm making $3 million a game, and they're not getting it out of me.
Yeah.
And I need to be better. That's it.
By the way, you don't think, and I know the guys, you got a lot of class character guys on that team. This really good group of guys, but they, at some point, they have to see it. Like, they got to see how people are playing. I'm going, dude, you're making a lot of money, and look at how they're playing you. Look at what they think you can and can't do. And we can talk about, lack of other receivers now that Tyreek Hill's out, and everybody just goes back constantly to the offensive line. It's like anytime you want to defend Tua, you got to take shots at the offensive line. Well, I got news for you. This is not a bottom tier offensive line. It's just not. I'm not saying they're perfect. I didn't say they're number 1 or 2, but they're pretty good. And he doesn't see blitzes. He can't get out of his own way. And it does limit. You guys asked him, somebody asked him a question, and he spun it around, and Mike's good. He spun around saying, hey, we play to his strengths. We know what he can and can't do. We play to his strengths, which is the answer. But
Joe, the surprise to me of the Dolphins this year is the offensive line's good. The defense is good. The running game's very good. Everything is good, but the one thing that you have to have, and you can't coach around it. You can't. Mike has brought all trickeration into play in the running game. You see, how he uses Brumskill, how he uses Alec Ingold, how he uses the tight end.
Different motions and counters.
It is very creative. And
bootlegs.
You saw the previous couple years how he used the passing game, the motions and all that, and now, look, those ideas have gone across the league. San Francisco, Green Bay, couple other teams. Chicago's using some of that. They've copied Mike, and now he's brought it. His background was in run game. We always heard, but we didn't see the run game take off. Now you see it. You see when he applies it, and the shocking part of this season to me is they're a good team on everywhere except at quarterback.
Yeah,
right now.
I agree. And it's funny. I was thinking about this because he mentioned to me, people forget my background. And listen, I'm glad. I want to hear confidence from him. Hey, my background was that running game with San Francisco. That was my baby. And it was a good one. It was a really good game, and with Mostert having and all the rest of those guys that rotate in there and everything, and what they're doing with McCaffrey out in San Francisco, he is doing with Achane here in Miami. Achane had a nice game the other night. As bad as they
over
were,
6 yards a carry.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like
catches the ball.
And you could argue they should have just kept pounding Achane. Now he has sore ribs, and there's a lot that comes into play in that. But they came out in the first half, the first quarter for sure. They had the momentum. They it looks like, okay, this is the type of game they want to play. Then it all fell apart.
Well, there's two things that happen. He throws an interception, and then the other one, and by the way, it's getting to be my biggest pet peeve is just I'd had it. You got a 3rd and 2, and again, he doesn't know where to slide. He doesn't know when. And now I'm getting tired of hearing, well, he's got to protect himself. He's been told you got to get a first down, then you protect yourself.
Well, there's the intersection of the problem with Tua and what the Dolphins need. Tua, and I get it. He's looking out. I'd be the same way, looking out for his health. He's had some.
But he kills us. He limits us even more by.
I completely
we're so
agree.
Limited.
So you can't have him at quarterback. He
can't play that game. It's a physical game.
Right.
You can't play this game if your guy's going, hey, by the way, and we already gave him the money. So now, because we do have such a financial commitment to this guy, we have to make sure we keep him healthy. So he needs to slide. He needs to jump down. If he's going to get sacked, just go down. If a free blitzer's coming, just go down. Can't keep plays alive, even though he did for a couple the other night late in the game. But it's a frustrating situation. But I got to tell you, getting back to how this thing started, Dave, I was shocked. He came out and he said he didn't play. He's not playing well enough. Everything's on the table, and the decision is coming today. And I was like, wow, we could be talking about seeing one of the other two guys, Zach Wilson or Quinn Ewers, for this game against Cincinnati.
Well, I'll go. I think we've seen the end of Tua as a Dolphin. I mean,
well, he's not going to be a backup.
Come back from this.
No. And by the way, if you're bringing him back to be a backup, first of all,
you're not at that salary. You're going to bite the bullet, and it is going to be a painful bullet to bite because they're going to have to cut him this year. I assume they designate him as a post-June 1st cut, $66 million against the cap next year.
He's getting all that money, too, all that guaranteed money just because you don't like the way he's playing, folks. He's still getting every one of those dollars.
Yeah, it's either $99 million next, before, but I assume they're going to spread it out over a couple years or even more. So it's $66 million and then 32 or 33.
What a mistake. What a mistake.
Nobody protected the franchise in that decision. Nobody. It's stunning. And I this isn't a second game. I wrote it in the Sun Sentinel at the time. Like, you cannot do this. This is you were against the contract.
I've never been totally sold on him, but I just these limitations that he has. Even sometimes he throws the ball and there for a while I said, his arm's better than I thought when he was throwing it down the field to Tyreek and Waddle and then all of a sudden he needs to go out with the duck hunters because he's just throwing ducks. Bring out your 12 gauge or 20 gauge. Automatic, pump, doesn't matter. Just bring it out. Bring the ducks and bring him throwing the ball. Get a couple.
What's that show? Duck Country, Duck
Terry
Bradshaw. Terry Bradshaw played college football. Those guys.
Anyway, hey, we got lost. Dave Hyde from the Sun Sentinel with us, and also All Day Dan Day in this morning. Happy birthday to Hollywood. Turns 40 today.
Wow, a milestone.
Can you believe that?
How's he taking it?
That's a good question. I think he's okay with it. I can't tell. He's a hard read. He's a hard read.
He's not real insightful. He doesn't put it out there.
Nah, he doesn't put anything out there. How do
you take 40, Joe?
Did I take 40? I think I'm okay with him, man. I run through them all. I'm good. Hey, man, I'm trying to get the most out of life here, Dave. I don't know. I'm sneaking up a couple years now from another big one, man. Holy crap. Anyway, we've got a lot of stuff to get to here this morning. and we'll get back on this this morning. And for everybody, the big news coming out is we find out today. And Dave, you think it's done? You think he's?
I think he's done.
You think he knew yesterday? He already knows. They've already told him you're not going to be starting the rest of the year.
I would hope, and I'm sure Mike told him before the press conference, because it would be pretty bad to hear about it from a Dave Hyde tweet or a Barry Jackson tweet that you're being
the
benched.
Team's leaking
so
stuff to others.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Now,
I didn't think they do it.
It's
I'm shocked,
It's
man.
a little surprising that if you're going to do it, I'm surprised he didn't name the starter yesterday. Just get it all out once. And that leads into why didn't they? And maybe Mike didn't have enough time to think about it. Maybe. So
then the other question
happened inside.
We got so much. We'll come back and talk about it. Was Stephen Ross had to be involved with this with the amount of money? There's no question. He's up in Palm Beach wanting to know what's going on. Tom Garfinkel, obviously the CEO, also in on this thing that's going on. So we'll, man, never thought. Very excited. I'm not going to lie to you, man. I think one thing they want to do is they're officially out. There's no 10-7. There's no 8 straight wins. And then on top of it, the way you got embarrassed on Monday Night Football with cold weather. And I got it all day yesterday. I was asleep, so I didn't get to see it till later on. But same old Dolphins, cold weather, can't play. And then, of course, people are really down
and
on
I don't think they
Tua
were the
yesterday.
same old Dolphins because they played physical against Pittsburgh until the game got out. But they don't have a quarterback. They don't have a quarterback who can do anything.
No.
And you can't.
And that was
you can't scheme out of that.
That was kind of like the final chapter of because I know how I felt. I came in. I didn't get a chance to see anybody's stuff. I just came in right off the plane, and I was just furious with him. Enough. You've covered him up, Mike, the best you can. And it's worked because you had a really good running game and a really good defense. You're getting the most out of everybody on your team. Everybody's playing at almost the highest level. The coaching's been unbelievable. Everything's been great, except your left-handed quarterback. All right, we got to go to break here. We got a lot more to get to. It is that time of the season of joy. And if you're doing well, I want to tell you about Chapman Partnership, man. They're doing great work down in Dade County and have for a long time. We hear about the homeless problem, and they're doing something about it. And a lot of times we talk about homeless, and you roll your eyes, and somebody stops you and acting crazy at a stoplight or a stop sign wanting money, and you're frustrated with it. Well, Chapman Partnership has brought in a lot of families. They're going through being homeless, individuals, and it's about rehabilitation. Their program, they got all these services, caring support, wraparound services, mental health doctors, dentists, babysitters, and then people to help not only get them back out on the workforce, but find a place to live. The program's unbelievable. It usually takes 3 to 4 months, but they got so many great success stories through the homeless, what they've done for families and helping them find jobs and an apartment and all these things. It makes you feel good. And once I got involved with Chapman Partnership years ago to see it firsthand down in Dade County, more than 800 individuals and families are down there, and it's a holiday season, and we want to make it special. We want to help them. We want to continue to grow this program at Chapman Partnership, and you can be a big part of it by donating any of your time or money or both. All you have to do is visit their website, chapmanpartnership.org/sponsor a meal, or you can give money. Hey, it makes a big difference. Chapman Partnership, you'll be so impressed. If you ever get a chance to go down to either one of their facilities to see the work they're doing, you'll be blown away. Chapman Partnership, thank you so much for anything you can give this holiday season.
Today's topics are
in ways that, that we're trying to solve the problem of the Cincinnati Bengals after, having a hard loss, going to Pittsburgh. And, I realistically don't let my mind deviate from that, just because my obligation to, each and every game is a privilege. It's a finite career for each and every player. So I do not trivialize any game that we have on the schedule, because it's, an opportunity for our program to have a work week that results in a win. And that's, as a program, as a football program, that's what you're trying to establish, maintain, develop, enhance. And so that's really where my focus is.
All right. That was Mike McDaniel yesterday. Wow. Talking about quarterback plays not good enough. Everything is on the table. I will let you guys know today. Sounds like there's going to be a decision coming today with Tua potentially getting benched. Zach Wilson, Quinn Ewers next up. Dave Hyde from the Sun Sentinel in with us this morning. Dave, you were there. You don't think there's any shot that Tua starts this game against Cincinnati?
No, I think he's done as a Dolphin. I don't think he starts the game again as a Dolphin. Mike, you can't open this door and then say, oh, but no, Tua's starting. We thought about it. No, they've opened the door, and now it's Quinn Ewers or Zach Wilson, and that's the small picture question. The big picture question is, to me, is who picks the next quarterback, not who is the next quarterback, who picks the next quarterback.
It's funny. I said I spent a few seconds on the elevator, but good quality elevator time, if you've ever had good quality elevator time, with Mike, and just talked a little bit and said, hey, man, it's a nice little win streak. And, it looked really bad, and you get some wins. However they got them. They could have lost a couple of those games, and everybody knows the story. And you end up get a great win against Buffalo in there and the whole thing. And we're talking, and I was just thinking, coming home and yesterday, about he's done everything he can, everything to give Tua a chance to be successful. And he's had to cut back so much on his offense to do things. And thank God for the running game. Thank God it's been one of the best running games in football over the last 6-7 weeks till this last game. That he's done everything. I mean, we've shortened it. We're throwing basic dump offs and swing passes and a couple of slants in there, but we're not. I mean, everything. It's like, I don't really trust you, and when you do throw it, I mean, he's throwing into coverages. And
I think the only top 10 number Tua has right now is percentage completion, and it tells you how short of a passes they're throwing, that he's up there because Mike's done everything to hide Tua.
He has,
as the season's gone on. And look, in the NFL, you can only do that so long at some point. And it looked like Pittsburgh was the breaking point. They played some pretty bad run defenses over this stretch, and good for them. I mean, over 160 yards rushing, 4 straight games.
Right.
But at some point, defenses are going to ask the quarterback to do something. And that was the second half.
Yeah. So a lot of interesting things we'll probably never know. Who signed off on this, who was involved in this decision. This is a big decision because the amount of money. And it wasn't too long ago that we jumped up and down, whether you liked it or not. The organization said, we are going to make you one of the highest paid quarterbacks in football. And there are a lot of people not aboard on it. Like, what are you seeing? And, and others going, no, he's our guy. And we just got to get more around him. I'm so sick of that too. Just keep putting more around him. But I do want to take just a second and give a little bit of credit. We got a lot of guys playing really well. It's not the most talented football team in the league. And we got, whether it's 2 cornerbacks that we picked up during camp, playing at a pretty good level. They've got the young guys up front playing a lot better. I know they gave up a few runs in this last game. Linebackers have been really good. They've got a lot of guys, and they play together. We saw physical defense in the first half, some of the big hits. I mean, led by the guy in the middle who's all pro, in my opinion, the middle linebacker.
Jordan Brooks. Yeah, he's
incredible.
He's as good as anybody in the league at linebacker right now.
You turn around, he's 13, 14, 15 tackles. He gets another sack. He gets tackles for loss. We got a lot of guys.
I put the number out there, 0-14 over the past 14 games, games under 40-degree weather. But the weather didn't play a factor, and it really didn't.
But it's easy for everybody to go to, Dave. I got people going cold weather, another loss.
Well, it's just a storyline. I mean, it is. I think in some of those games the weather did matter, but in this team, they tackled well in the first half.
In the first half,
they
missed a couple bad tackles
in the second half. Yeah,
Ashton Davis pick on one guy. Ashton Davis doesn't wrap up and tried to throw his body into the running back's legs, and he bounced off and goes 38 yards down the sideline.
Yeah, DK Metcalf, he threw off Fitzpatrick, another play. He went through the secondary a couple times.
He did.
And
big physical,
but he's big. That's why he's good. But the weather wasn't the factor. The factor here was just what we're talking about. You can only hide Tua so long, and when you fall behind, you need the quarterback to help you come back. And again, their number one paycheck, the number one most expensive player is their biggest problem, and that's not just a Tua problem. That tells you of the Dolphin organization.
Yeah, that's the kind of mistake people get fired for. That's the one that somebody ought to be saying, that's we've been making a lot of mistakes over the last 20 years, but this is a really bad one.
Can you fire Chris Greer again?
No.
He's gone. Okay.
He's gone. He's up building homes and buying real estate. I don't know. Seriously, I don't know what he's doing. But anyway, so this decision and surprised the hell out of me. I just did not, and I thought the cap hit and all that, and they're going, what about the money? And do we have somebody else? And like, hey, man, he can't do anything. He literally can't do anything. I mean, yesterday I was even getting about, I've talked to the team after. What are you talking about? They don't want to hear from you. They don't want to hear from guys that are holding the team back that aren't playing well. You're the guy. They don't want to hear from you. Like, no, you ought to go, let Jordan Brooks talk. Let Devon Achane get up here and talk. Let Aaron Brewer get up here and talk. Let Minka talk. Let Sealer talk. Let Engel talk. You shouldn't talk. Yours is all yap and nothing backs it up. And after a while, if you got one of those guys on your team, man, they turn you out. They get out of here, bro. I know what you make and I know where you live, but man, we see what you are on this team.
The surprising thing was, again, the self-awareness. Did he not know I'm the number one problem here? And because the way he carried himself now, maybe he was pretending that I'm not the number one problem. But he had to know how bad he's playing.
I don't know what his confidence, honestly. Only he knows. I don't see a lot of confidence. Physically, when you can't do things and you realize everybody can outrun you on the defense, so you can't get away from anybody when you get outside the pocket unless it's a clean. And he's great at one thing. His play action fakes are really good. He gets my eyes sometimes. He gets my eyeballs during the game, and I get caught going, oh, he got me. Rolls out and, completes a bootleg like he does. But it's at some point, it just gets back to, I see it you watch all the games. I watch all these games on Sunday and plays break down, Dave. Plays break down every drive, every series, a play breaks down. And a quarterback, the good ones, still find a way to make it work, whether they take off and run for a first down, whether they buy time back there and make a throw. And the other thing that was so obvious to me, so obvious, Aaron Rodgers was so much better physically. And I mean his legs too.
Yeah, I mean.
Physically at 42, so much better.
Tua looked like a combination of Phillip Rivers and Aaron Rodgers. I mean, a bad combination of an old body that can't move anymore.
I'll tell you he can throw it, though. I'll tell you, he throws it. There's not too many guys, and I'm not saying Josh Allen, but he throws it like he still, the zip on his that comes out of his arm without even stepping and throwing, just that's a gift.
The Steelers look pretty good. I mean, for a team that's been up and down
look
this season,
very good, but they look good in that game.
The last couple games, they look good. So
and by the way, the other thing we haven't talked about, Dave, got so many things to get to here. Hell, we only got 4 hours. Coming out of what do we do at halftime?
This has been a problem. This has been a problem all year when you look
Yes.
when you look at when the analytics, when you look at them, their first half numbers are so much better than their second half numbers. Now, part of this might get back to what we're talking about. Defenses watch the film on Tua and the offense, but they don't believe it until they played a half and they said, okay, we can really dial it up on this guy because he can't do anything.
Minus 20 yards in the third quarter.
6 plays, minus 20 yards, 2 sacks of Tua for -8 and -12. And there's the third quarter for the Dolphins offense. So he couldn't. He tried to run. He couldn't run.
He could not run enough to throw the ball away.
Right.
I mean, you can't make these things up, man. They're bad, and they must be bad for that press conference to go the way it did yesterday and hit
I
all
was
you
surprised.
guys.
I was, you go into a press conference and actually the writers we talked. There was a small writer, Joe Shad of Palm Beach, Barry Jackson of the Herald, me, we talked. Okay, this is going to be an interesting press conference because we all knew what we're going to ask.
Did anybody think this? Yeah, you guys.
Well, we're going to ask, and Mike is going to answer. One way or the other. I didn't expect. I was like you. I thought they would ride Tua out to the end of this year. Part of it is we saw Quinn Ewers against Cleveland. He didn't look very good. Zach Wilson was getting replaced by Quinn Ewers.
Tells you what they thought right there.
So that tells me, what do they have? We don't see practice at this point, since the season starts. So I thought those guys aren't very good behind him, and he'll just ride it out. So I was surprised that now, and again, I don't have the answer for this. Was it completely Mike's decision? To your point, you bench a guy you owe $99 million to. The owner has to be part of the decision. This was an organizational decision to bench him, I'm sure.
And the other one I'm really curious about is Champ Kelly, the interim general manager. How involved is he with everything? Because he's got the scouting going now. We got to guys committing for the NFL. You got to start getting ready for that. But somebody made a huge decision, one of the biggest decisions we've had in a long time in this organization yesterday. I'm still not sold it's 100% that he's benched today.
You're really?
Yeah.
I just don't think you open that door. You cannot open that door as a head coach and say, everything's on the table and I'll tell you tomorrow. You can't open that door and then go back, oh, no, Tua's our guy.
So the only thing, to your point, they know the best they can do is 9-8. That's the best. That 10, as long as that 10 wins was out there, they're kind of alive. And then they got their ass kicked, and the best they can do is 9-8. And I just think the way he played, part of it was he was just so bad in those first 3 quarters, so bad that the team just said, and Mike came in and goes,
flag.
He just says, I've done everything. We've talked to him. Remember last week it was eyes and feet need to get back together. The new motions have kind of thrown me off. There's always some weak-ass excuse.
They talked to him about sliding.
I mean, can you imagine?
He's at the end of his 6th year in the NFL, and
Come on,
talking to stuff that you talk to high school quarterbacks about.
Yes,
no, we're done.
Yeah.
We've seen enough.
Yes.
Move on.
Thank you. All right. Hey, we've got a lot more. Don't go away because we'll have more from Mike McDaniel, the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, coming up here. And Dave Hyde, who was there yesterday, in with us this morning. And All Day Dan Day also with us as Hollywood's celebrating his 40th birthday. And I hope he gets a little time off today to enjoy himself and relax, chase the wife around a little bit, and
maybe reflect that he's getting old too. What do you think?
Check those gray hairs that start to come in at 40. Hey, I got to tell you, man, boy, Atlantic Men's Clinics made such a big difference in my life, and I can't think of a better holiday gift to give guys out there. If your energy level's not where you want, and you know you have ED and ED. It's one thing to have low T and your energy and you're tired all the time. It's another to have ED, and I had both full blown. And I got to tell you, man, and for a holiday gift, my results have been so good, and I feel so good. And my sex drive is back. It was gone. I mean, it was gone. There was nothing there, man. Nothing at all. My poor wife was making excuses for me. You're just stressed out. I'm not stressed out. I got problems. Well, I'll tell you what, Atlantic Men's Clinic can change it for you quickly, and it's a great holiday gift. I can't think of anything better than a man feeling good and getting his energy level back, losing some weight, and having his sex drive back, able to enjoy his wife or his partner, his girlfriend. Man, I'm telling you right now, it's just a great way to go with great results for the holiday season. Atlantic Men's Clinic is the place to go to get it done. Great results, man. I want to tell you what happens. You go down there, you set up that first appointment, you get the T, the PSA test, if medically advised, the test dose. Then on top of that, you meet with their professional staff. They have them come down, explain everything to you you're going through, and then they put you on a program. Now, you got to decide if you want to do it or you're going to walk out of there and go, I'm not going to do it. But if you're serious about getting rid of all these things, noticing that you're super tired, don't have the energy you've had in the past, even to the point sometimes you feel depressed because all of a sudden your life has changed so much and the ED thing follows. It's going to happen to every man out there, sometimes in your 40s, sometimes in your 50s, but it will happen to every guy out there. 7 locations in South Florida, sir. You set up that first appointment here for the holiday season. Give yourself a great gift. Can't do any better in Atlantic Men's Clinic for you. 877-455-7300 or visit AtlanticMen'sClinic.com. Hey, go find out. Get rid of ED, get rid of low T, and start feeling a whole hell of a lot better for the new year with Atlantic Men's Clinic.
gone on this season that there's been a lot of things unfold. The bottom line is the natural progression of expectation to attack things and then nail things and move on to the next thing. There's been a lot of things at play. I wouldn't pinpoint exactly this, that, or the other. I just know that at this stage of the season, my expectation was that we'd have a better performance. And, you look inward and you look at what you can control and how you can affect it. And sometimes that's it's hard to pinpoint exactly. You really have a standard. And when that standard is not being met, something's got to give. And, we're looking for clarity on that because it's not where I want it to be.
Wow. Mike McDaniel yesterday at the press conference. Dave Hyde there yesterday and with us this morning. I got him up early. And so here we are waiting today. And Dave thinks it's 100%.
100%. I would be stunned if he comes up today and his press conference is at 2:30, I believe. If he steps up and he says, we've looked at everything and that door's open. You'd never open that door as a coach, as an organization. And don't say, you have to have thought it out far enough that, okay, we're replacing them. I was a little surprised that, though, if he is opening the door, he didn't know who he was starting. It can't be that hard of a decision watching practice.
Boy, if you listen to that, and I had a chance to go back and listen to the whole thing last night, it was real clear that he's not happy with the way Tua is playing.
How could he be, though, Joe? Right?
Well, he's covered up for him.
He's covered up for him.
Listen, there's never been a head coach cover up for a quarterback this long like Mike has. And by the way, the coordinators, the quarterback coordinator, the passing coordinator, the coordinator, we got more friggin' coordinators at the top of that thing. And I'm guessing Frank Smith and the rest of them have got to have some frustration of coach.
But let's remember, they are the ones, all of them, who bought into the Tua.
They did.
I
agree.
To their and
show me the money.
If I'm Steve Ross right now, there needs to be an organizational meeting. What went wrong? You can't sweep it under the rug. Let's talk about this so we don't recommit the same
Dave,
problem over and over and over. And why didn't we listen to Brian Flores? And you know why? How did we get onto the Tua train initially? Why didn't we look at Justin Herbert more? Why did we buy into a small guy with an average at best arm with a health history? Why did we go down that road to the point? And they fell in love with Tua during the scouting process. During that, remember, Steve Ross and the whole organization went to watch Tua versus Burrow. They actually fell in love with Burrow. I mean, they really wanted Burrow,
right.
They weren't getting him.
Brian smashed that. He went out and won and did one of the greatest coaching jobs we've had down here. He did. He benched Josh Rosen and said, we're going with the other guy, and we're going to out here, and I want to let all you guys know, because you've been listening to all this tanking stuff, I'm going to try to win every frigging game I can, and I'm going to play the best guys, and I want to let you know Josh Rosen will not see the field again.
And there's where the whole friction started.
And that started all the
mess.
Started to say a bad word again, and I just got written up for it a couple weeks ago. Got written up for the show.
What is this, high school? You get a note from. I get it. Yeah.
Well, written up is better than getting totally
booted,
suspended,
fined,
or kicked out.
Well, but that's what kind of a show it was here for a while, and it's a shame Brian was such a rough personality inside the organization, because some of his thoughts were really good, and including, we can't win with Tua. You can't win with the big guy. And so he was more right than Mike was right on Tua. We're at the end of the show now, and you look back.
As you know, there were some people that like Justin Herbert a lot. Some people. We got to go to break. We've got 7 o'clock hour coming up here. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to be answered. And I'm guessing, man, there's some rats over there running for cover, man, to make sure that wasn't me. Well, that song wasn't me. Anyway, we've got a lot more stuff to get to here this morning as find out today, man. We'll talk more about some of the other things from Monday Night Football too. Troy Aikman. I think everybody was shocked that Troy Aikman was pretty strong on his comments about Tua too, and the fourth quarter.
He's not that guy usually who is out there.
No.
That tells you how much he really thought about this.
Yeah. Oh no, it was some things that he was not a big fan of. Tell you what, I'm a big fan of your South Florida Chevy dealers for the holiday season. SUVs and trucks, man. If you're starting to look around right now, do me a favor. Make sure you put South Florida Chevy dealers, 14 dealerships throughout South Florida, put them on that final list that you're going to make sure you spend some time at a Chevy dealer to see. Let's start with the SUVs, the big, comfortable Tahoes, over to the great Suburbans, the Traverse, one of the hottest ones we have right now, a midsize SUV with an unbelievable look and all the space you could ever want. Equinox, man. Woody jumped in an Equinox here a couple months ago. Boy, with a lot of people loving them too. Boy, they've just got something for everybody. And right over to our truck family, the Durable Colorado to a Silverado 1500, Silverado HD. Again, all the legendary horsepower and one of the hardest working beds in the business. Hey, whether it's an SUV or a truck, man, we like what we have. Durable, strong, plenty of room, and ready to work the way you do. Hey, whether it's a midsize, full-size, or heavy-duty truck, Chevy pickups will never let you down. See your South Florida Chevy dealers this holiday season for outstanding offers going on right now.
WQ
Headlines are brought to you by Doral Volkswagen, home of the Pricito, our lowest price. Visit us at Doral Volkswagen or DoralVolkswagen.com. Mike McDaniel has opened the door to potentially benching Tua Tagovailoa. An announcement is supposed to be made later today. 2 bowl games tonight at 5. It's the Cure Bowl featuring USF and Old Dominion. Then at 8:30, the 68 Ventures Bowl with Louisiana Lafayette and Delaware. Shelton Henderson tied a Canes freshman record, scoring 30 in Miami's 98-81 win over FIU. Panthers look to keep their winning ways going tonight at 7 as they host the Kings. And the Knicks defeated the Spurs last night, 124-113, capturing the NBA Cup. I am Dan Day. Now back to the Joe Rose Show here on 104.3 FM WQAM.
This hour of the Joe Rose Show is brought to you by Baptist Health.
All right, welcome back, and good morning to everybody. Dave Hyde from the Sun Sentinel's in with us, who had a very interesting afternoon at Dolphins training camp as Mike McDaniel. By the way, were the other guys surprised by this? There's a decision coming on potentially a new starting quarterback this week.
I think everybody was surprised that, look, no one expects the curtain to drop on an era just like that. And that's really what happened. I think there's no going back now. You think there's still a possibility that Tua?
I'm just so shocked. I didn't even think it was up, because I've heard Zach Wilson talk about how hard this offense is, throwing to areas, before guys break. And he's got such a strong arm. I'm watching him warm up in the cold weather. He looked like it was about 80 degrees out. And Quinn Ewers, like you said, we saw him a little bit, and I was just like, he's just not ready. This is not. And I tried to tell, I thought we learned our lesson with a quarterback we all thought was going to be great because he was so good in preseason. He ended up being a disaster when he got his opportunity.
Skylar Thompson.
Yeah.
There's the question: who makes the decision on the next quarterback? Because I'm not really into a debate over Zach Wilson or Quinn Ewers. I have no idea. I'm not sure.
One guy's got more experience than the other.
Yeah,
guy.
Right. And
one
so
guy's
is that good or bad?
Yeah.
Do you want to go with the rookie and say maybe we can develop him, or do you want to go with the retread and say, hey, maybe Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield, and we can? But ultimately, they're going to have a bigger decision to make, and A, moving on from Tua, and B, who makes the decision on the next quarterback more than who's the next quarterback? And is it Mike and Champ Kelly? Are they going to stay? Does Steve Ross say, "Hey, I'm going to
still a lot of stuff out there
now that we've got rid of the quarterback? There's no reason to keep Mike, and we'll go out and find the best personnel guy." I don't know what they're going to do now.
So part of me says, because you're thinking about all these guys and, hey, getting your draft pick, who's going to be here most likely next year. Again, Quinn Ewers, who showed some promise in what we saw in practices and everything else. Or do you go with a guy that's got a lot of starts, didn't have a lot of success, but got a lot of starts and physically has lots of talent, lots and lots of talent. He was a second overall pick for a reason, Zach Wilson. And do you let him play and see, he's been around now and had a chance to watch everything good and bad that's
I would go with Zach Wilson, just from is there anything left there? One of the reasons I didn't think they changed from Tua this year is just what you mentioned that Zach Wilson has said. This offense is
timing
tailored for Tua. I mean, and it wasn't working with Tua, so you can only, as much as Mike tried to tailor it, you can't.
They did everything.
They did everything for Tua.
We can't. If you've been watching this thing close, they've done everything possible for Tua. And they've said all the things when he did fall down and he tripped and he slid and he got hurt. They said all these things, and they've tried everything. And they've now shortened what they're doing offensively in their passing game by so much. And
because he can't throw downfield. How many ways can you run a 1-yard screen? Really is ultimately. And Mike, I saw some plays I hadn't seen. They were getting. They threw a lateral screen to a receiver and had a blocker out in front, 1-on-1 against Pittsburgh. Mike was doing things that are very creative.
He, Well, I'll tell you what, that's one part, and he's got an offensive coordinator job for life. He is that good. He truly is that good. Now the question is, how Stephen Ross and the fan base is kind of divided on him. I'm with you though. I'm not quick to get rid of Mike.
It would be a shame. You know, I was thinking of this driving in. What are we going to talk about? And the Tua decision opens the door for a lot of other decisions, as you know, as I alluded to earlier. Who's going to pick? And now that the coach isn't tied to the quarterback, do you change the? But it'd be a shame in the sense that the apprenticeship was served with Mike. I think he learned. He came in as an assistant coach mentality as a head coach. Be friends with the players. Get them paid. That's what they want. Create this culture of everybody's comfortable. And that doesn't work as a head coach. And I think he learned that over the past 4 years. And
I think a lot of it's been this year. I think, and going through the Jalen Ramsey.
Well, I was going to say last year with Jalen Ramsey and Tyreek constantly late.
I think Ramsey tried to walk all over the whole organization.
He did walk over it. He did. That's why and they had to trade him. I mean, so. And you talk to people inside the organization, and what they said, the reason this team held together at 1-6 and had this 4-game winning streak is the culture that was built inside. There's no Ramsey, there's no Tyreek Hill as problems in the locker room. Everybody is looking out for everybody. And so, maybe there's something to that. But I think Mike has served an apprenticeship, and you see a lot of the good things that he can do. The question ultimately is how do you pick a quarterback? Who's going to pick him? And does that person, is it Mike? Is it Kelly? Is it somebody else? And if that you get somebody outside the organization, what do they think of Mike?
For years, we've gone through this general manager, head coach relationship.
And we're back.
And somebody has to. You just can't give in to your head coach. You can't give in. And to me, our head coaches win too much, and then it falls back, and then the GM says too much, but that's who he wanted, and I wanted to give him who he wanted. So if I would have taken my guy and it didn't work, he'd be throwing it in my face, and it would ruin our relationship.
You can't have a spineless GM.
You can't.
And that's what they had for a decade. You can't have a guy who's going to bend with the wind or put his finger in the air. What's the owner think?
I think he was told that by Stephen Ross. You got to be the GM. At the end of the day, you have final say. At the end of the day, I wanted to rhyme that up.
I like that.
You have to have final say. You're the GM. You've been doing this all year. You got a big staff. You got a big budget to go out. And you got to sell your coach a little bit, see it, show him what you see. But you can't bring all this information back and then go, the guy's been coaching all year, and go, okay, what do you think? Like, no, you've been doing that. That's your specialty. You know what your coach likes. Go out and find that kind of player that you believe is the best. I don't want you sitting up there and being able to go sit with the owner and going, well, honestly, that guy that he's playing I know he's not playing well. He wasn't my choice. And that was a coach's choice. Well, why are you the GM?
And as we've learned, again, 60% of the GM's job is the quarterback, is who you pick at quarterback. Who do you reward with a contract at quarterback?
We are never going to get, I'm just going to say this, we're never, ever going to get another Dan Marino. But that doesn't mean we can't go out and get a really good quarterback. Drake May's never going to be Tom Brady, but Drake May's pretty friggin' good. Would you say right now they feel pretty good about Drake May for a long time?
I remember running into Alonzo Highsmith at a game a year ago when Drake May was a rookie, and maybe midway through the season, 3/4, so it was November. And he said, well, I know one thing, we got our quarterback. Yeah. And they were
down here with no talent last year, and we finished that game, and we're all looking at each other going, they got their quarterback. Yeah. He had nothing to play with, and he played pretty well in that game. He had no offensive line. Yeah. He had no receivers. He had okay tight ends. And he went out and he made some plays. And then we saw it early in the year where he was.
And look at Josh Allen. Look, you will be looking up in the AFC East for the next decade at Buffalo and New England if you don't get a quarterback who can compete with them.
I agree. We got a ways to go to chase those two down. And I know we beat Buffalo, but we have a ways to go.
Well, you beat Tom Brady in New England like few teams did.
We did.
But that didn't mean you're at that level.
No, you're right. We only beat them down here. We didn't beat them up there very much. We did get them once, though, at the very end there. Brian Flores did get his ass down at the very end, right?
Remember Ryan Fitzpatrick went off, jumped on Devontae Parker's back. Or no, Devontae Parker jumped on Ryan Fitzpatrick, and they went riding off like a horse off the field. They were celebrating so much.
The Patriots were playing for home field advantage, and we beat them in the last game up there.
Oh, I was at that game, and in the locker room after, I'll never forget, Stephen Ross and Garfinkel, they were in the locker for whatever reason, and they had just lost the lottery. Like they had the winning lottery ticket of Joe Burrow, and they had lost that because they won that game was the final nail in the coffin that they weren't going to get.
Brian Flores did a great coaching job that first year. So we got past the Josh. No, that wasn't the game plan, but he was he went in and told those guys when they got done with that meeting, guys were going, "What are we doing, man? This guy can't play. We're not trying to win. It's hard to be here." And he goes, "Oh, don't worry about that. That's done. You won't have to see Josh Rosen again. He'll be in law school before you know it."
And you know what? If you're the owner, you go and you say, "You play Josh Rosen because we are tanking, and we can't win 5 games and ruin everything." So that was an organizational problem.
Hey, we're going to break here, but we'll be back. We got a lot more. We got a lot more from Mike McDaniel. And one thing we didn't talk about was that fourth quarter. I know it's done, and it doesn't matter. I wonder how much of that had to do that you have a veteran quarterback and you can't line up on the ball play after play. You have to constantly huddle. I will never understand that. That really bothered me during the game. I couldn't let it go while we were doing the game. I like, what are we doing? Like, you got to hurry up.
You think that was?
We got to turn him on. I fooled you. Yeah.
Wait a second. I thought that was Tua can't run the 2-minute offense, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Apparently he couldn't get on the ball, and they must have 2 minutes. Everybody during practice runs a 2-minute drill. And a 2-minute drill means when you're down 21 points or 20-something points that you go, all right, time of possession, we need as much time as possible. And we need our defense, obviously, get a bunch of 3-and-outs. And they're huddling up.
It was one of the strangest down. Yeah.
That was a weird one. Not good for Mike. Unless, once again, you got a quarterback that.
Because I asked Mike about this yesterday in the press conference about you answered it after the game. You have time to think about it. And he said, no, I looked at the number of possessions we needed, did the math and all this stuff. And I'm still thinking.
It didn't make sense to me. I heard that. Just because I don't know, Mike. I'm with you. And you're a hell of a lot smarter than I am, but I don't get that. I want as much time as possible. And if I have a quarterback that's been around as long as Tua, I would think he would be able to call 5 or 6 passing plays that you want to run to get down the field and score as quickly as possible instead of huddling up, spending 20 seconds every time. All right. Want to tell you about Jeff and Amanda at Beverly's Jewelers. Oh, my gosh. 35 years. We figured out the other day on my first engagement ring 35 years ago. And, man, I got to tell you, Beverly's Jewelers was there. Jeff and I are having a good laugh about it the other day. I'm talking about Beverly's Jewelers. Yeah, I'm talking about some great stuff going on right now for you. Boy, they've been my jeweler for a long time. They're going to be yours this holiday season. Right now, you can get a stunning 3-carat certified lab-grown diamond, VVS Clarity, E-Color, set in a custom-made 14-karat gold engagement ring. How about this? $3,999. $3,999 for a gorgeous gold engagement ring, 14 karat. You're going to love it, man. She's going to love it. You're going to be a home run hitter right there, babe. I'm telling you right now. Hey, by the way, choose from your favorite shape, and larger size are available at similar savings. But hurry, it's a limited time offer. I was shocked how fast they're going, but a lot of guys out there ready to pop the big question and need a ring on a tight budget. Boy, this thing is gorgeous. You got to see it in person. Go in there and just ask to see it. I want to see the 3-carat diamond ring for $3,999. Thank you. You just helped me in a big, big way. Hey, do all your shopping Beverly's Jewelers. Diamond studs, tennis bracelets, all their fine jewelry with up to 70% off select pieces during their holiday sale going on right now. Hey, you need extra cash? Beverly's pays top dollar for your gold, silver, and jewelry with immediate payment. Enjoy interest-free financing, free gift wrapping, and a great staff to make sure you get exactly what you want. Visit Beverly's Jewelers in Fort Lauderdale or online at bevjewelers.com. Beverly's Jewelers of South Florida gets engaged with extended special holiday hours. They open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., Saturday 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and even Sunday 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Beverly's Jewelers, where South Florida gets engaged.
WQAM.
So if you're if you run 4-3, that's an advantage for an offense that you have to take advantage of schematically. I think there's many different ways to have success. I'm pretty sure, Tua has the just as much speed as Tom Brady or Peyton Manning. But you just have to cater your game with conviction to the best way for you to distribute the ball and make plays. So I think there's, I've had a history of, we had Robert Griffin III as a rookie, who was 4-3, and we were doing a bunch of zone read. Then a couple years later had Matt Ryan in Atlanta, where he had a different skill set. You're always playing your player's skill set. So I wouldn't categorize. A lot of times people think grass is greener. I think it's more leaning into your skill set and how much you can have your skill set blossom.
All right, Mike McDaniel talking about different style quarterbacks. I'm not sure what Tua's style is at this point, but anyway, we're going to find out today, as it sounds like there could be a change on the way. Dave Hyde, who's with me, says it's 100%. You win 100%.
I am going 100.
That's like the weather guy never says 100%. It's not going to rain,
it's
bro.
much safer to say 95%, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you do not open this door, not just as a coach, but as an organization, unless you're walking out unless the ear is done onto it. The curtain dropped, and to me, the curtain dropped yesterday just by saying everything's on the table. Considering Tua's been the whole franchise has been built around him for 6 years, basically, and certainly for 4 since Mike took over, and for him, who's been his biggest supporter, and he reclaimed his Mike's number one job beside winning when he first got here was to figure out who Tua was. And he figured him out. He figured, here's what he can do. Here's what we're going to do.
He got the most out of him by far.
Absolutely.
No one in the United States of America could have got more out of Tua to get him even in a conversation for a new contract, which
I was going to say the mistake was they got the most out of him, and they thought there was more. They thought we can win with this, and you can't win with this. You can't win with the limitations.
It wasn't just the limitations. It was just the concussion thing is just always there.
Yes.
And he's playing with that. You can tell by the way he plays. He's been coached up. It's in the back of your mind. Like, remember, don't run too much. Don't go too far. Be careful. Hey, it's okay if you line up and we got more downs coming the next possession.
I don't blame Tua for that. I don't blame Tua for worrying about his life as ahead. Now, that just doesn't mesh with the sport, though.
No.
You can't have both. They're non sequiturs. A guy looking out for his health and winning as an NFL quarterback. You just can't have both.
You see this too, and I'm using this only as an example. The guys that get when these games get important, Mahomes, the last few weeks, man, they're desperate for wins. He's running a lot more. He's taken off. Josh Allen didn't look good. All of a sudden, he's running even more, and it's a terrible example because they could be the two best quarterbacks in football, but are just, and I know why. I know he's been told. I listen, but 3rd and 2, and you can't get 2 yards. And you slide and you still don't understand. It's where the butt starts. And
let's remember the Dolphins haven't gone deep into the playoffs. They haven't gone deep in the playoffs. The better teams you play, especially in the playoffs, there's going to be chaotic plays. Plays are going to break. The quarterback has to create plays, and that's one thing Tua can't do.
No. So anyway, we had hey, by the way, I got to take a second here. I didn't get a chance yesterday. I was a little tired and a little fired up, and I apologize. But we had the state championships down here, and great games. It was one of the best Thursday, Friday, and Saturday matchups, upsets, unbelievable story. And when it was all said and done, Dave Broward and Palm Beach all had a state champion or more. And I just want to say real quickly, Cardinal Newman, Jack Daniels' team up in West Palm, upset Chaminade, huge upset. Chaminade, one of the better teams in the country. Cardinal Newman upset him in the state championship. So congratulations to them. West Boca, Dylan Potts' team, back-to-back state championships up there in Boca. So Palm Beach County gets 2 state championships. And then down here, Roger Harrett, what he did at St. Thomas Aquinas, where they get their seventh state
in a row.
championship. Unbelievable. To Twan Russell, good friend, and Wesley Carroll and all the gang up there at St. Thomas, just dominant. And again, the best team probably in the state. And an American Heritage Plantation. Mike Smith lost a bunch of games early. They come back and win a state championship. So to the 4 of them, a big congratulations. We get a little spoiled down here. We get a lot of them, but boy, that's great stuff. I just wanted to make sure we gave them all. It's not easy. It's not easy with today's world of transfer in and transfer out, and it's going to start back up here at the semester break. Kids going to be flipping again to try to get on where they can play and have the best numbers, and the most schools will come visit during spring football so I can get noticed, and 7-on-7 is going to be starting up before you know it, and those are now really important. Crazy world out there.
The interesting one, and it was interesting from the start when Teddy Bridgewater got kicked off Northwestern, and they lost the state championship game.
Well, he built up a great team.
Yeah.
Hey, that team was upset. You noticed I didn't say Northwestern. By the way, it's weird. Dade County got shut out. That's weird. Dade County, no state championships. They beat each other up in some cases. But Northwestern lost to that Renzo Reigns team. And that was an upset. They beat the hell out of them in the state finals the year before. And they bounced back. I mean, that's a great thing, man. You get sloppy, right? You get sloppy, you turn the ball over, and all of a sudden you get yourself a win. And boy, that was great stuff. So we just wanted to give a quick shout out to all of them, man, those high school coaches. Not an easy job, and like college football in the transfer portal, it got a hell of a lot harder for a lot of the schools. So to those guys and their schools, congratulations for all of you that can hear us this morning. Great stuff going on there. We haven't talked about this, and I don't want to get away from all the stuff, and because I'm really curious. I want to get into more about the Mike McDaniel decision on Tua that's coming down or expected to come down today. It's just weird to think doing the game, and we got the next 2 games at home against Cincinnati and Tampa Bay, 1:00 starts, that Tua could be standing there and not playing.
Yeah, that will be weird. I hadn't thought about that.
I have.
What I have thought about is, so the way an NFL schedule works, teams really move on to the next week on Wednesday as far as the media. So now Mike will talk at 2:30, and then the quarterback will talk. And I've thought, okay, how are they going to work this? Is it going to be, let's say, is it going to be Quinn Ewers or Zach Wilson who talks? Yeah. Is Tua going to talk? Now, he's always talked in a meeting room. Will he talk in front of his locker now, or will he not talk? How's this going to be handled?
When you get demoted, so I just, the whole thing is so awkward. This guy's been the starter. You gave him the new contract. He's been on a hall pass. He has. And now all of a sudden the team is, forget what we think. That guy, he's trying to get that guy's just trying to get you guys to listen, whatever. The team has spoken and said, you're not very good.
Yeah.
We need to go a different direction. And we understand we owe you a lot of money. We know that. We've met. We know it. And we still don't care. We're going in a different direction. They're telling you you're bad at what you do. You have held us back. They're saying all those things.
And I don't think, listening to Tua, this had to fall like a ton of bricks on him, because I never got the idea that he thought this was a possibility. Even after this game, we got to come together as a meeting. I got to be a better husband and a father and
whatever
a teammate,
all that stuff he says. By the way, I feel so badly for Ann, head of communications. He comes out after every game. Put that list. Woody's putting that list together for us when he gets back from his 40th birthday of things that he said after games. And they're classic. He has said things never heard before by starting quarterbacks. And it's amazing because he's no longer 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. He's a grown-ass man that's been in this game in the NFL for a while. And he'll say things like, in the huddle, I don't think the guys could hear me. That's a first,
that
Dave.
That was an odd one. That was the oddest, of course, was we had team players only meetings where players didn't show up.
Who says that? There's some things, if they're going on, you say them privately to your team.
He can't see over the line. He can't run because his ankles from the injuries in Alabama.
How about the breakdown of Josh Allen and said, I'm really looking forward to playing against Josh. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the game. And he brought, I can't do any of those things he can do. He's bigger and faster, and man, he can run, and I can't, and he can throw, and I can't.
That was a good breakdown of the two quarterbacks. So
it was. Don't say it.
But yeah, there's been a lot of things said by him this year that I walk away from saying, wow, I can't believe he said that. Like, again, I can't see over the line. I can't run.
And by the way, you get a new contract and you run out on the field.
Yeah, that was that.
And you got people there that showing up. They're big fans that are just fighting every day, trying to figure out how to buy season tickets, and that they're bringing their kids out there on a tight budget, and you come out and you decide the first thing out of your mouth is show me the money.
That showed
you don't by the way,
lack of awareness.
Like, what are you doing, man? Is that the way you were raised, man? Did show me the money?
There's the face of the franchise. That's your first moment.
Can you imagine Dan Marino, who was the highest paid guy ever, coming out and saying that?
I really can't imagine anybody in that position given that contract, and now you're the face of the franchise officially, and they're invested that in you, and the team has. You thank everybody. Hey, let's go win some games.
Oh, Dave, man.
It's been a rough 6 years.
We got a lot more stuff to get to here. We'll hear more from Mike, and the big day coming today, man. To find out, I ain't going 100% with you. I got to see it to believe it. We've evaluated and we've decided.
I think the curtain dropped. The era is gone. The only question now is how they move forward, how they get out from under Tua.
By the way, why would Tua talk? Hey, I didn't play well. I deserve, like, what's he going to say?
Well, he's going to talk.
Show me the money now, because you're still going to show it to me?
I think it's 50-50 he talks. I think I would talk. I want to talk with him if I was him and answer questions. Everybody has questions about him, how he's taking it. He can say, let's move on. Let's go win a game, right? I'm 100% behind whoever.
Yeah. He should say that anyway. You hope. All right. Hey, listen, I got to talk about something else going on. Hurricane season's over. We dodged some bullets again. And hey, man, to our friends in the islands that got hit hard, I hope things are getting better for them. But hey, man, hurricane season's always right around the corner again. And one thing, I talked to Chev over there, Loctite Impact, the CEO, and he always says, hey, man, there's one thing you can do, man, protect your home with Loctite Impact windows, doors, and roofing. You got an old leaky roof, replace your old roof now and you can pay later. Loctite Impact offers the highest quality roofing materials with lifetime warranty plus thousands of 5-star reviews. You can save big on legendary state-of-the-art Impact windows and doors. Impact windows as low as $6 per window per month installed. Don't wait for the next storm, man. Visit LoctiteImpact.com. Again, LoctiteImpact.com, or you can call 954-500-LOCK. They got a great staff over there to answer all your questions, get the whole process started. They cover all of South Florida for you. And by the way, more good news. Congratulations. They've inked a deal with the Miami Dolphins, becoming the official Dolphins Impact Windows Doors partner and proud roofing partner. Loctite Impact Windows, Doors, and Roofing.
Today's topics are sponsored
Hey, welcome back, and good morning to everybody here as we continue on. Saturday, 12 o'clock. I can't wait, Dave Hyde. We got a big old football game coming up in the playoffs of college football. University of Miami going to be in Texas against Texas A&M, and they got a chance to win that game.
Yeah, they have a good chance. They have a great look. They have had 2 bad games against bad teams, but you look at the roster, you look how they played in the last month of the season.
I just think
I don't think they can
really
lose.
well.
I think the question right now, you make the playoffs, is how much you win, because they won. They took the step they had to this year by getting into the playoffs.
I just hope they're not happy with that. That's like we made the playoffs for the first time. We're glad to be here. You want to go out and win that game.
Well, I think how they got in really benefits them.
Team.
Really benefits them to be motivated, because a lot, they a lot of people didn't think they should be in. There's a controversy, so now we want to go prove we should be in, right?
I think they're clearly one of the 12 best teams. I don't think anybody would debate that. You could debate their losses and, bad losses and stuff like that, but they're definitely one of the 12 best teams. I think Notre Dame's one of the 12 best teams.
I mean,
if we're to cut out and we didn't have to do, letting a couple of teams in on Tulane and James Madison, but I'm looking forward to this. And by the way, this first time this year, they're going, hey, their pass rush is really good. Their tackles for University of Miami game there. And they're one of the best pass protecting teams in the country.
Yeah, this is an offensive line. Look, you're anchored by the right tackle who's going to go in the top 10.
Maui Noah is a hell of a player.
And
he might move to guard. They say he might be the top guard and one of the top 3 tackles. So that makes him even
more valuable.
Yeah, because he's the flexibility, what he can do at both positions, as we've seen professionally with so many guys going down. But I was thinking, it's weird because it's going to be loud, but I'm not worried about that because the pass protect, the run blocking's actually been a little bit of a problem from time to time. They haven't run the ball as well, to me, as I thought they would. Now, people say, well, they wanted to take that away. But I think their pass protection, you see their highlights, Carson Beck, and you're like,
he's standing back there and time. And you know what? The other thing that's
pass protection,
the
man.
Noise of College Station and playing on the road. Carson Beck's been the biggest SEC. So this isn't that. I don't think that's the concern. The concern is how good is Texas A&M.
Yeah.
And they just got beat by Texas by 10 points.
Well, there was some things said by their pass rushers that we didn't talk about last week, and it was not by their pass rushers. That actually was about their offensive tackles came out and said, we're not worried about those guys. And their coach had to come back the next day and say, hey, Reuben Bain is what everybody says
I think
is.
you should worry about them. Both of them are going to be drafted. Well,
they're asked specifically about Reuben Bain. A guy said, I've watched him. I'm not worried about it. But I get you want to be confident, but the coach comes out and goes, hey, man, those NFL guys, we've watched them. Reuben Bain's a bad man. He's good.
I just saw a mock draft on ESPN last week. Reuben Bain, #1 pick. Now that's probably there's going to be a quarterback, I would assume, but the idea is that's how good Reuben Bain is.
The guy I'm interested in, and not to get away from the playoff game, I'm interested in Mesidor.
Yeah,
I keep hearing Mesidor is a first-round pick, and then I don't see him in the top pass rushers. But then you listen to all these guys and they're going, man, this Mesidor, he is really, really good. So
both of them are going to be drafted.
I mean, by the way, there's a shortage at that position too.
Yeah.
Guys that 4-man rush to get to you don't have to blitz all the time, and that would be. So anyway, I'm excited to see how they play. The big thing was to get in. You get the good news. You're in. And I look at this team, and by the way, they're going to be pretty healthy. This extra time off has been good.
Back the safety, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but yeah, they are healthy. They're getting healthier, which is rare at this time.
I just don't think it's a pretty strong team, pretty strong all the way around, and so we'll see what it looks like, and having everybody back, their defensive tackles will be healthy, all of them with their rotation. And some of the 4 or 5 young guys that he's been playing, he's got a freshman starting a running back. His best receiver's a freshman, and he's got a guy that leads the secondary who's a freshman. So they got some young guys that have played really well and really helped out this team late in the year. Anyway, we've got all that stuff going on. We got more from Mike McDaniel. Chris Perkins from the Sun Sentinel, covering the Miami Dolphins, is back, and we'll talk to Perk about the news coming out of there could be a change. I just can't say there's going to be a change.
There has to be a change. You cannot
the thought of Tua,
drop the curtain halfway and then pull it back up.
The fact that Tua drops down to the backup, is standing on the sideline. I mean, it's like Mike doesn't have to say anything. Like Mike puts a positive spin on everything. How do you bench your quarterback and put a positive spin on it? Well, Tua's had a good, solid year, but now that we're out of the playoffs, we just want to give some other guys a chance.
I don't think you need to have a positive spin. You just say what's going to happen. Here's what we're doing. We think this gives us the best chance to win, because the quarterback is too limited right now to give you a good chance.
He has truly been, with 3 games left, he has been, I'm careful saying this, he has been one of the biggest weaknesses of this team, if not
he's the biggest weakness. Look at Joe. The offensive line's good. The running game's very
got a lot
good.
Better. Better than we thought.
When you do the receivers, when you get back the tight end Darren Waller, all of a sudden you have a couple nice targets there. The defense has been far better than I thought it would, especially the secondary. I thought they were dead at cornerback. They were going to be a big
Those
problem.
2 veteran guys have played their ass off.
Now, they haven't played a lot of passing quarterbacks either when you go down and Aaron Rodgers kind of had his way in the second half. But to the larger picture, the roster and the development of this roster and this team has been very good everywhere except one place. And that's the place you can't hide. You can only hide so much in the NFL.
And he is just, it's a shrinking passing offense. They're doing less and less. And you're like, wow, you truly don't trust this guy. Anyway, we got to go to break. We don't want to take away perk time coming up here in just a minute. But don't go away, because Baptist El South Florida is the place to go. One of the top sports medicine programs. Baptist El South Florida does a lot of great things. I don't ever want to take away from all the wonderful things they do at all their different hospitals. But I got to tell you, that sports medicine program, brothers, it ain't taking a backseat to anything. Where do the pros go when they get injured? Enter Miami, the Heat, the Panthers, and Miami Dolphins. All trust the great doctors they put together at Baptist El South Florida. It's one of the top sports medicine programs in the country. Athletes come from all over the country and overseas to come see some of their doctors they have. How about that? You start looking at specialists for the knee, shoulder, foot and ankle, hand, back specialists, hip and knee replacement doctors, excuse me, as well as Achilles and all the other injuries you've had through sports, individual and team sports, doesn't matter. These guys are really good and ready to help you. And the great news is we got 3 great facilities: Doctors Hospital in Coral Gables, Hard Rock Stadium right next to the training facility, 595 and Pine Island in Plantation. That's where those doctors are all working, and you're going to be able to see them the next time you have an injury. It's going to happen to everybody. If you're competitive and you're active, you know it's coming. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho. One goal every day for everyone. Let's get you back out playing the sports you love the most.
This
Doral Volkswagen, home of the Pricito, our lowest price. Visit us at Doral Volkswagen or DoralVolkswagen.com. The Panthers, winners of 5 of the last 6, look to keep the winning going tonight as they host the Kings at 7 o'clock. Miami basketball team, they defeated FIU 98-81 last night. They get ready for North Florida Sunday at 1. I am Dan Day. Now back to the Joe Rose Show here on 104.3 FM WQAM.
All right, welcome back here for the 8 o'clock hour. Dave Hyde from the Sun Sentinel in here. It was at the press conference. And another guy that's been covering the Miami Dolphins all season long, he's been through it all with us, Chris Perkins from the Sun Sentinel. Perk, good morning. How you doing?
Oh, man, my head is spinning like everybody else. That's
wow.
what I'm doing. I'm wondering what in the world is going on here.
So Perk, you saw how bad Tua played. I don't need to tell you those make-believe garbage numbers in the fourth quarter and the way he played the first 3 and all the things that happened. But I'm still very surprised that Mike came out yesterday and it made it sound like there's a good chance there's going to be a change of quarterback today. Do you think that happens?
Well, I think there's a good chance. But what I'm wondering is, has Stephen Ross given Mike McDaniel any kind of assurance that regardless of what happens here in these last 3 games, he's coming back? If they finish, 6-9, or I guess it wouldn't be 6-9, 6-11, and they have a change at quarterback, is that going to affect how Steve Ross looks at Mike McDaniel? Because if so, I don't think that you make the change, right? I mean, you're probably not going to do as well with either Zach Wilson or Quinn Ewers as you would have done with Tua. And so is this going to decide Mike's fate? Because if it does, I would think Mike sticks with Tua, right?
So what you're saying, it wasn't Mike's decision?
Well, I'm saying is the result of the season in light of a quarterback change going to be held against him? Like, has Steve Ross made his decision already as to whether Mike comes back, or will these last 3 games be a big factor? And if you're Mike, do you really want to put your future in the hands of Quinn Ewers or Zach Wilson?
I think
that's what I'm wondering.
By the way, I haven't asked you. I think Mike's pretty safe.
Oh boy.
I think Mike McDaniel's pretty safe.
You know what, Joe, and I could kind of agree with the quarterback change. And look, I understand that now that the playoff hopes are over, you might as well take a look. But if your job is on the line,
oh no, then you don't play them. I agree.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you. Because and here's the other thing, because if you're Mike, you're further putting on the line, have I ever developed a backup quarterback? Because we haven't seen it with Skyler or Mike White or Teddy Bridgewater or Snoop Huntley. None of these backups have done well in this particular offense. And this coming game, maybe you can win it with the run game. Cincinnati has the worst run defense in the NFL. But in the last 2 games, Tampa is number 10 in run defense. New England is number 5 in run defense. So the game becomes more quarterback dependent. And are you comfortable putting that on the right arm of Zach Wilson or Quinn Ewers if your future rests on the outcome of those games?
Yeah, but I don't think that is the case where the future of Mike McDaniel rests on these games. I think it's either to me the future rests on who's going to pick the next quarterback. Is Steve Ross going to go out and get another general manager? Is he happy with Champ Kelly? And if he's happy with Champ Kelly, he's probably going to keep Mike as coach.
Can I give you guys another one we don't talk about enough? I believe that Mr. Ross, and I think most of us, that this team doesn't have enough talent overall. That's the one thing. I know we sit and we talk about Tua because it's the most important position. I think everybody's looked, and that's why Chris is gone, that there's just not enough talent on this roster. Do you agree, Chris, or no?
I disagree. I think that Chris Grier gave you the best talent you've had in 2 decades, all right? And so we're going to look at the top 3, Grier, McDaniel, and Tua. Grier gave you the best talent you've had in 2 decades. It wasn't Super Bowl winning talent. We all know that. You had enough talent to win a playoff game. So Grier gives you that talent. It's up to Mike and Tua to make it work. And so that's kind of how I look at it, and that's why I have all 3 of them linked. Either all 3 stay or all 3 go. And I've been leaning toward all three need to go. And I'll tell you this also, Joe, you look at if Mike comes back,
Yeah.
I think that it should be a demand. And I think Brandon Shore might have a voice in this. He seems to be a rising power in the organization, the salary capologist, but he seems to be a rising power. But Mike should have to compromise that big play pass offense, right? Because, Joe, last year they go to the dink and dunk offense. They go 6-3, right? They finish 6-3. This year they go to the run game. They win 5 out of 6. You've had more success running against the 8-man front than you did throwing against that 2-deep zone.
Yeah.
You've got to incorporate parts of the dink and dunk and the run offense into next year's offense if Mike comes back. And this is the other thing with the biggest thing about Mike, and Dave Hyde mentioned this the other day, he rehabbed Tua, but pretty much all he told Tua was throw it to Tyreek. Now that Tyreek is gone, Tua isn't nearly as good a quarterback, and Mike's rehab project doesn't look as good.
But you're the whole tenet there is that there's enough talent because he had Tua. And Tua, as we've seen, isn't very talented. He's not an NFL quarterback. He's not a starting NFL quarterback on a good team. And so to me, the fact that Mike, and I've said this morning, I was thinking driving in here, it's almost a shame that Mike might be pushed out the door now after he's learned how to be a head coach. I think he's learned how to be a head coach.
I think he's made some change. You agree, Perk? You're there every day. I think Mike's made some changes as the way he treats this team and what he's been through. You think he's learned a lot or not really? You think he's the same guy?
He's made changes. He's definitely made changes, but these changes needed to be made after the 22 season. And this is where I view it as an organizational failure because of the player empowerment thing and the Tyreek-based offense and not enough running incorporated into the offense. That somebody should have said this to Mike after the 2022 season so that in 2023, when you were prepared to win a playoff game, you could have done that. You could have beaten Philly, or you could have beaten Kansas City, or you could have beaten Buffalo, and that would have helped you get that home playoff game. Now, you shouldn't have lost to Tennessee, but that would have helped you get the home playoff game, and you could have won. I just think that so much of this goes back to Mike. It's not Chris Grier. It's not Tua. I think a lot of it is Mike.
Whoa, Perk. Chris Grier drafted Tua. That was his responsibility. He gave the contract to Tua. Now we can say Mike.
He gave all those extensions.
Mike went in and pounded the table for him. Yeah,
correct.
but he's the veteran GM who says no, we're not going to give it. He made the trades for Tyreek, giving up a whole draft. Made the trade for Jalen Ramsey, knowing that, and then redid the contracts. So Mike might have been pushing for that because I agree with you that this culture of comfort that Mike started here, just that's not the way to go. But a veteran GM has to check a first-time head coach and say, no, that's not the way to go.
I agree 100%. That's why Chris isn't here. But a smarter coach would have recognized Tua's limitations after 2022, right? And
correct.
said, we need more run game.
Yeah.
Right, Dave. So that's the thing, that Mike controls the on-field product. The off-field product, I know the draft and all that kind of stuff, and you're exactly right about that, Dave. I'm not saying Chris Grier deserves to be here. I'm saying among the three, Grier, McDaniel, and Tua, Grier did his job better. He did.
Oh,
boy. He did.
I'm 100% out on that one. You jumped in. I don't know what Chris. I know you walked out of that building with Chris a couple of times, brother. But Chris Grier, I'm even sick of hearing about a good guy. Listen, man. Cam Smith me somewhere else, brother. I don't want to hear it. No.
How many Pro Bowlers are on this roster right now?
What's that?
I said you had enough talent to win a playoff game. Again,
I agree with you. I agree with you, Perk.
That was the best team we had
22,
in 20 years.
23, yes. But what I'm saying is now, you got to make the decision now. I think Mike has learned a lot that I could understand keeping him. Whereas 2 years ago, I'm completely on board with you, Chris, that there were mistakes made.
Yeah, to keep his job, I think the team has underachieved each year. You could say maybe 2022 they didn't because you were just setting the bar. 23, 24, 25, you underachieved every year.
Hey, Perk, I got to say this too. why we're getting into this, and it's going to get. I'm going to get into a lot more in the coming weeks. Brandon Shore needs to keep his ass to finances and not jump into the football side. He is not a football guy. He is not a football guy. You leave that up to whoever the general manager, the assistant general manager. If Brandon Shore is going to be flipping over, helping make decisions, and turn into a little Mike Tannenbaum, that ain't going to cut it.
There's a fundamental problem right there in the Dolphins.
That's by the way, if Brandon Shore is good at contracts and good at overseeing things in the organization, that's great. But his ass should not be involved with anything to do with players except their contracts. Nothing. Running, jumping, personality, nothing. Small school, big school, money. That's it. You do contracts. You do great contracts. You work with your GM if something works or not. If it's too much, it doesn't work in the salary cap. That's Brandon Shore. But if we're starting to move him over because he wears nice suits and he's going to start to get into football, I got a big problem with that. And I will bark till I'm off this air about that.
Yeah, I know he's a rising voice. He's rising in power there.
Well, I think he had more say last off season because of all the.
So
money.
we're going to put him in the responsibility
Listen,
too.
Listen to this.
No.
He had more say last off season because they had such salary cap issues.
Yes, he was.
And
that's
so,
true.
And so you need your salary capologist to speak up and say,
Chris,
we cannot keep doing this.
That is true. That, by the way, that's a fact. He did do that. He did step up and go, guys, but that's finances, guys. We can't do that. No, we can't get that guy. We spent all that money on extensions a year before. We can't do this thing, or we're going to be in really bad shape, and it's going to look bad on me when Stephen Ross calls and says, why don't we have more money? Why didn't you guys tell me about this before I went out and spent whatever the amount of money on those extensions and that money they had to pay up front?
I said, go ahead, Perk.
I think that Shore is probably going to be more visible. He's probably going to have a louder voice, but I don't think that he's going to take over as the head personnel guy or the GM, but he's a rising power.
I will say this. The one thing that Steve Ross needs to do is empower the general manager and say, you run football, because there have been so many. Chris Greer allowed it. There have been other people outside, not just Brandon Shore, getting their mitts into the football decisions that have muddied up the water here. And
we just got to get this thing in order at the top. We really do. Who's running the show?
Right.
And by the way, you got to have the confidence that you're doing and people aren't running behind your back. I mean, this thing doesn't need to look like an elementary third grade school where little Johnny's telling on little Susie that, she lifted her skirt or something. We need to we need to get back. You know what I'm saying? We just need to get rid of all the little stuff, man. I didn't need to say that, but
no, you didn't, but it amused me.
Thank you. That's the business I'm in.
I'll say this. You're exactly right about getting the house in order. And that's one thing that Mike McDaniel has done, and one thing that Steve Ross really likes. Steve Ross likes process. And that's one thing that Mike McDaniel has in his favor. And what I mean by that is this team didn't quit on Mike McDaniel, right?
Nope.
So that's kind of part of the process.
I hate that. I hate that line of argument.
That.
You know,
Woody hates that too.
You know, many times in the past 25 years, we've said, hey, he's doing a good job. They're not quitting on him.
I know.
Come on.
No, that's
the bar.
You're right.
And
I'm guilty of it too, Perk. I do it all the time. And Woody calls me out like, doesn't everybody try hard? Yeah, you're right.
Right. Well, my problem with the process-oriented approach is it's a results-based business. And so give me somebody like Flo, who, you say whatever you want about his people skills. He got more out of his talent
I agree.
than Mike McDaniel did.
Yes.
It's
By the
about
way,
results in the NFL.
You talked to he was great with us. He was great with us.
I had no problem with Flo.
I didn't have any problem. I know some guys
I
did.
think we're the three people around the Dolphins who had no problem with Flo.
Big Bo.
Bo too. Okay, there's four.
Yeah.
Big Bo might be president of the club. He's very
Because you talk to other people, and he was really rough around the edges.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Yeah.
Ultimately, who looks good in all this mess this week with Tua is Flo. He
Correct.
told the organization, You cannot win with him.
Hey, Perk, I got to ask you here. If they do make a change, it's Zach Wilson, right? Not Quinn Ewers?
I think I would go to Zach, and the reason is Zach was your direct calculated target, right? He's got more experience in that offensive system, in the Shanahan system, from his time with the Jets. And I just don't know if I'm ready to go. Well, here's the thing. What are you trying to accomplish in these last 3 games? Are you just trying to get by, or are you looking to see, do I have a possible starter for next season that I go into free agency and the draft thinking, okay, here's a guy who's going to compete for the starting job. If I don't get somebody better, we can start off the season with this guy. I don't know that either of those guys is in that position yet, but I think Zach Wilson is closer, so I would give Zach the first shot. Because of that, he's got a better chance to compete in training camp to be your 2026 starter. Quinn, I just, if he's a 7th round pick, and how many of those guys pan out? I know Brock Purdy, I know Tom Brady was a 6th rounder, but Skylar Thompson is usually the norm for 7th round picks. So I'm giving Zach Wilson the first chance.
If that's the case, in Port Quinn, we're just gonna have to let you go right now for.
I'm with the Zach Wilson. I want to see, is there anything there?
Yeah,
that's what you need. And this is a decision of a franchise moving on. Perk, what's the percent you put on the curtain drop on the Tua era this afternoon?
I say 70%.
That's all. I want 100.
Yeah, by the way, I'm not that high. I still think there's.
You're going 50-50 on me, Joe?
50-50 too,
oh
man.
My God.
No.
You cannot open this door and close it.
You
now.
made sense when you said it to me last night.
Why?
I get it.
But to a much lesser extent, he did this with the backup quarterback, right? With Quinn Ewers overtaking.
It doesn't matter on the backup quarterback.
I know you're right. You're right. It's a different extent. But
this is a guy
why you can't open this door? Why? Because Tua's feelings are so fragile. Like put him on alert. Who cares?
Hey, you sound, just before I let you go, you sound like you're pretty much just get the hat trick and get him out of here, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. I am. I am. It's that's what makes the most sense. Just a clean sweep. And again, it's nothing personal. Chris was a nice guy. Mike was a nice guy. Tua was a nice guy. It's a results-oriented business, and they've all underachieved and disappointed.
That's fair. That's you're right. You're right on that, Perk.
Hey, Perk, you had a little build-up from coming home from that trip in Pittsburgh. So I appreciate you coming on this morning, my man, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen this afternoon. What time's that meeting taking place, Perk?
I think 2:45. I think is when Mike speaks. So it's this team might not win playoff games, but they give us plenty of headlines, right? Thank goodness for that. They're always interesting.
Hey, Perk, how do you do now? You know all the newsy people are going to show up today. This is going to be a big story if this happens. This is going to be a huge story here in town and nationally. Don't let them take your questions, man. That's what I'm saying.
Oh no, I got a loud voice, man. I just keep on talking. I just talk over people.
Perk sits right up front, right in the middle. And he's right there with his questions.
All right, Perk.
I'll make eye contact and talk loud.
There you go. Hey, Perk, thank you. Appreciate it, brother.
All right, guys.
All right, Chris Perkins from the Sun Sentinel. Wow. Boy, we could have done a show. We could have done 2 hours on that right there.
Now, he lit it when he lit both of us up when he said Chris Greer did a better job than McDaniel or Tua. I'm like, whoa.
I don't want to hear it.
I thought that road had been well traveled and decided by now.
I've been the cheerleader for that to happen for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years. Like, enough.
I never understood why he was given this tank rebuilding job going back that far.
I said the same thing when they made that move. I said, you're giving this guy the biggest draft in the history of this franchise with all those 1s and 2s, actually 2 years of it. You're putting that guy in charge. If it doesn't work, and honestly, if you can't win and a big free agent class to go with it, a lot of money, Teron Armstead, all that money came in, and we still did not win a playoff.
But you make bad decisions, and they come to roost as they did just in this whole Tua decision.
Yeah,
the contract they gave him, etc.
Boy, all right, we got a lot more stuff to get to. We went a little long there, just in case the program director's up early. But hey, man, sometimes you just got to let it fly a little bit there. Hey, I want to talk about the main man. I know what he would do. He would be going, let's get this going, man. Hey, I got to talk about the main man. You're going, who's the hell's the main man? Anthony Caliendo at the Business Broker Experts. Hey, he's about one thing, man, selling your business. That's what it's about. Nobody does it better in this state when it comes to selling your business and getting you the most money. So I got to ask you this. If you're a business owner driving into work, might be listening to us right now. Hey, man, you burned out. You tired of being tired of coming home. Your wife's saying, please sell this. It's been good for our family. You put a lot of time and effort. Let's find out what it's worth and sell it. Please, we're going to be just fine. Hey, if you're in that situation, no matter how specialized your business is, big or small, doesn't matter. The main man, Anthony Caliendo, has got a book full of numbers of people waiting to buy businesses just like yours. He's the best business broker in this entire state of Florida. He doesn't just list businesses, he packages businesses to sell, and that's what makes him the best, putting it together. Florida's booming, man. More and more people moving, especially now up to Palm Beach, and they're looking to buy businesses just like yours. Hey, if you think you're ready, you need an exit strategy, you need somebody to help you put it together, Anthony's got a program called the Biz Exit Experts Advisor Program, and listen to this. He can help you increase your business value by up to 71% or more before you even list it for sale. A lot of people have used it. The main man saying it works. Anthony Caliendo, dial 1-800-THE-MAIN-MAN. That's 1-800-THE-MAIN-MAN, and talk to him directly. Find out what he can do for you and let him flip your biz and cash you out big. 1-800-THE-MAIN-MAN. All right, welcome back. I want to thank Perk for joining us this morning.
He got it going. He got us going in here, didn't he? That was good.
All Day Dan Day with us as well, and Jamie in the other room, and appreciate those guys and everything. And oh, by the way, All Day Dan Day said, "Hey Joe, you know what we have?" I go, "What?" "We got a pair of tickets to give away to a Miami Heat game coming up into this month." And I went, "What?" December 27th, the Pacers. We got 2 tickets for Heat fans out there. You want to do it right now there, brother? How about you got a caller you care about? A caller number?
Jamie, what was your hockey number?
Can you go caller 8?
I can do caller 8 for sure.
And that's how many times he swiped and came up short. 8 times before he hit that jackpot.
Might be a few more times than that, Joe. It's all a numbers game, man.
That's right. You just keep going, and sooner or later you hit it, right?
Yeah, there you go.
So when I was coming out of high school and the guys go, "Hey, we're at Berkeley." And I said, so you get out of the dorm your first year and you realize that these sororities are all up and down. The Greek system is alive and well at Berkeley. So the guys go, yeah. And so the older guys going, "Hey, like the DG House and AD Pie, they're giving you names of where the best looking girls our age are." And I go, "Oh man." And one thing about it wasn't from lack of trying. I had 0 success. Matter of fact,
come on, Joe.
0 success.
I have 0 success in
Dave,
college.
Dave, I'm going to ask you a question before I tell this story. I left high school a virgin.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now here I am.
Here I am, 64, and embarrassed to admit that. Why are you doing this, Joe?
Hey, Dave.
But Joe, you were a high school star.
I was an ugly kid.
You were an athlete.
Hey, Dave, I can't believe you admitted that. My mother had me so scared. I didn't know what to do. Anyway, nothing happened. I'm just being honest. Because I got guys I'll have somebody come up to me and going, "You never had sex in high school?" I go, "No, you kidding? Didn't even come close."
You know what's worse? Now I went to an all-guy school. None of my best friends got any either back in high school.
Well, you're making me feel better. So now I'm at Berkeley, which,
you should have hung out with us, Joe.
Love is free and easy at Berkeley. That was true in the 70s, peace and love, or get a piece of love, whatever it was, man. But it was happening. But they were talking about like these sororities. So I'm watching, and they're having that recruiting where the girls go through to see if you're going to let them in. And I'm watching this DG House and the 80 Pie and a couple of these houses. I'm going, my God, all the good looking girls, that the really smart ones are down doing their only thing. But the girls up here, I go, oh my God,
you were in heaven, right?
I was in heaven, but I could barely get in the front door, man. I was just, no, I'm so sorry. No, I'm with my high school boyfriend.
What changed, Joe? Something changed there. Let's hear it.
I'm not getting into it. I'm not getting into it.
Which house did you pledge? Which sorority house?
No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. But I did finally have a girl, and a big bone girl. And one night she said to me, we're at the Rathskeller, and she says, "Hey," I said, I don't have any money. I can barely afford this last beer, this pitcher of beer. And she says, "Yeah, me too." She was, "You want to go up and eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches at my sorority?" And I went, "Hell yes."
That's the
she
code
goes,
word.
"I got a key." So that opened up that one sorority. But
whenever you'd ask for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches,
peanut butter, I'd see her, and she'd go, "Potato chips, peanut butter." I go, "Yeah." Late night.
You cannot have a peanut butter jelly sandwich now the rest of your life without flashing back to that moment.
Yeah. The girl, I love that girl. That girl she's one of the guys. She was great. She was great. Anyway, I can't believe I got you to come clean.
It's not real hard to get me.
No, but Dave, it was more common.
You
back
think
then. Dave, it was much more common.
Oh
back
yeah,
then.
absolutely.
Now, saying that, I had a bunch of my buddies that got their girlfriends pregnant in high school and ended up marrying them in high school back then too, in a small town.
I think you came out better for it, Joe. Then.
So if that protected
those
me
are the
from
two
that,
options. Are those the two options
don't worry.
in Marysville?
Anybody look like they're getting too close to me? My mother, she's bad.
She ran
news.
them off.
She's bad news. I don't want her around you. And she tell him, "Nah, yeah, you ain't around him. Leave that kid alone. Go find somebody else." Yeah, tough. tough going back then. Hey, Dave, we've got all kinds of crazy stuff going on here besides the sorority stories of where all the good-looking girls were at your school. But, yeah, man, this quarterback situation today, I guess around 2:30 is when coaches – he set it up, by the way. He's the one that said we'll know something in tomorrow afternoon.
He said 14 hours or something. He even had the time when we're going to announce it. So I don't – again, the curtain fell to me. I was surprised sitting in that press conference yesterday that Mike went down. Mike said that because you never expect almost an era to end right there. I thought they'd ride out two of the rest of the season.
Everybody yesterday was at a different level of criticism after the game. Late Monday night, early Tuesday morning, when I finally got a chance and watched all the shows, Tua got blasted. It wasn't just Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman, it was unusual to see him that critical of a quarterback's play as he was Tua. But I did notice that everybody's articles locally and nationally were killing Tua from 3rd and 2, slide short again after we just went through this, and he said, I regret it. So it's a double regret, I guess, because he did it again. And then throwing the ball, and they're just so limited on what they could do, and 60 yards of offense.
And it's a regression over this season.
Quarters.
You go to the Cleveland game where he's awful, and you just keep going through there. And they won by camouflaging him by going to the running game and
Mike's got that
defense.
Mike's got that running game. And by the way, I'm not so sure if they didn't fall so far behind so quickly that, he probably looks back and wish he would have run it more.
Well, he could. They ran 6 plays in the third quarter. 2 of them were sacks of Tua.
There were a couple of
8
runs that just
yards.
got chopped right down.
But you couldn't stick with it because they didn't have the ball enough. So the New Orleans game to me was the first one that said, okay, this era is fading quickly. When you had the 3rd and 2 run, you had they won the game, but I wrote the column, "What's wrong with Tua?" Because he isn't.
He's not even close to the guy he was 2 years ago.
And the guy 2 years ago wasn't close enough to win big, but you thought, okay, can he develop more?
You thought they had enough around him, and he had got something.
He had a chance. He had a chance.
I got to tell you, and we're done with that Clayton Duper and Marino thing because they're not even in the same ballpark to be talking about.
Remember that was.
I went through everything.
I wrote a column talking to Clayton and Duper, and I remember Duper said, "Come back to me."
And he was right.
He's right.
Duper said, "Hey, let's see him do it for 7, 8, 9 years at a high level," and it didn't happen. But they had some great success together, and it was fun to watch. We came up short. We did win a lot of games, but it just wasn't.
You look back, who else was right? Was Vic Fangio. I remember after the Dolphins scored 70 points on Denver, he said, let's pump the brakes here a little and allow this to play out. And he was saying, let's let the defense catch up to what Mike's doing on off. And then they did catch up.
Yeah.
Because you can't, just run trickeration with the quarterback.
No, I totally agree. Hey, Dave, we've got a lot more stuff to get to. Hey, all day, Dan Day, hey, all day back there. Hey, all day. Can you hear me? I know all day. There you go. I know. Can you have our engineer leave so we can do our show? Hey, I just wanted to ask you, did we get a winner on a caller and winner on that?
Yes, we got a winner.
Good. I just want to make sure we've got somebody set to go in there. Anyway, hey, right now I want to talk to you before we go to break about Mike Ocacci at Choice Mortgage. He's got an amazing offer. It's called Hometown Heroes Program, helping first responders such as law enforcement, healthcare professionals, educators, firefighters, and military vets with up to $35,000 in closing costs and down payment assistance and low fixed rates and no prepaid penalties. Give Michael a call on his cell phone at 561-441-2730. Call or text him, 561-441-2730. Hey, I might have hit what you're doing to help you, and why not? And learn more about the Hometown Heroes program. Mike Ocacci at Choice Mortgage, 30-plus years of experience. It's about getting you a mortgage quickly. It's about getting you the lowest rates and getting whatever it is, debt consolidation, buying a home for the first time, Go to Google reviews on the web, Choice Mortgage Review, saying a lot of great things. But Michael Kochi at Choice Mortgage, the man has no life. He does work 7 days a week. Call or text him, 561-441-2730, MLS 166254. Rates and terms subject to change. Daily without notice. He's an equal housing lender.
WQAM.
Back here, 9 o'clock hour sneaking up on us. Dave Hyde in with us all day. Dan Day. What's the other guy's name? That would be
Jamie.
Florida Jamie.
Swipe
Florida
right,
Gator.
Swipe right, Jamie.
I think he's swiping with success these days. I think he's on a swipe run right now.
I'm on a heater, Joe.
I'm feeling it. Roll the dice.
Yes, sir. I'm seeing her tomorrow night.
Roll
Should be
the
good.
dice. Feeling good.
It'll be good. Just locked it in.
I got to
Joe.
tell you, you know what I love about Jamie? Now we got to know each other, and he does a great job on social media stuff for us. My man, he's aggressive. Like, he can take it like, I'm not interested. I'm sorry. I've decided I'm going to be seeing somebody else, or, but it was really nice when they try to be nice, and he's just like, it's okay. He's on it. Bam. He's off, running to the next one. He just, no does not hurt
take
you.
rejection.
As they say in sales, no is not going to slow me down.
You got to have instant amnesia in this league, Joe.
See that?
You just need one yes, right?
That's a junior Panther talking right
Exactly.
there. Out of the junior Panther.
Nobody said it was going to be easy.
Nope.
Just got to keep going.
Playing Paul Maurice's system is not easy. You just can't. You can't take no for an answer.
Keep playing our game. Can't take no for an answer. Yeah, just keep pushing, Joe.
You just need one yes.
Hey,
That's it.
Kid, I can't get to him. I've said everything, and I just never.
You never.
He's prepared for everything.
Can't rattle the cage. No way.
Oh, God. He is something else. Anyway, hey, happy birthday to Woody. Woody turned 40 years old today. Hollywood
how's he
is
going to
40
take it?
years old.
Is
You know what? Recently, he's talked about a few gray hairs. I'm being serious, right, Jamie? Right back there, he talks about, I got a few grays, and like, bro, a few. Wait till you have to start putting a little jet black in your hair, bro. I mean, it's,
What I realized at 40 didn't bother me. But about 44, I couldn't play basketball anymore. 45, it was like, it's all fading.
40s was back surgery, and some of the sports started to slow down, and I had to give up basketball. The hardest thing I had to give up
hard to give up.
was basketball.
Yeah, me too.
It's funny. And we used to play Eric Reed, and we had a great group that played together and had some fun. And Goldie would, get down there, and Goldie decided watching the New York Knicks. He tried to knock everybody down, a hard foul. That was Steve Goldstein. But we had a blast, man. And when I had to give that up, that was tough.
I played every Sunday morning for years, Saturday or Sundays. Started on Hibiscus Island, right next to Star Island. They have an outdoor court right on the water.
Yeah.
All the
that
Herald
must've been
people when I was
nice.
there. That was beautiful. Then we'd have a Sunday morning games, same people. It was a great there. So Woody, you're about to give up your basketball game. Enjoy the last few years of it.
Yeah. He anyway took the day off. Good for him to get a little had a basketball game last night and take the day off. So congratulations. Happy birthday to Woody. You're 40 and still going strong, kid. Two great boys, really good kids, and unbelievable wife, obviously. So anyway, we've 9 o'clock hour is coming up here. We got to get caught up here. I know my boss is on his way in here. I want to make sure. He's a big clock guy. You know that, right? All day.
I get the emails.
He's a big clock guy. Joe's off by 20 minutes on the clock. That's not good for business.
All I hear is format from you, Joe. It's good that
I
you're,
talk about it. I'm just not good at it. I mean, I talk about it and I'm aware of it, but I can't stop talking. Try telling them I can't stop talking. They're going, no, well, you need to.
Perk threw us off.
Oh, Perk. He was strong today. He was strong. Man, Perk got – isn't it amazing how we all look at the team a little different? I mean, that's what makes sports, though. Well, we look at things, and you like certain guys, and I like certain guys, and I think this guy shouldn't be doing this, and no, that guy we need involved, and keeps us in business here, man, for a long, long time. Hey, something else going to keep you around for a long, long time. That's when you buy a South Florida Chevy dealer SUV or truck. How about that one? Holiday season, you're starting to look around. You and the family decided we're getting a new SUV or we're getting a new truck. We need it for the family. Well, listen, if you're looking for something big and comfortable, I've been a Tahoe guy. I like to call myself Tahoe Joe or Joe Tahoe, whichever one you like better. But it's also about the Suburbans and for the big boys, and then even the midsize going down to a Traverse and the Equinox. And that's just a teaser in the lineup because we got some great stuff for you with plenty of room that you're really going to enjoy. Well, let's talk trucks, man. Durable Colorado with his Turbo Max engine and impressive torque. A Silverado 1500, a workday workhorse, man, and a weekend warrior for all your toys. A Silverado HD, man, legendary horsepower and the hardest working bed in the business. What I'm telling you is we got a truck and an SUV absolutely perfect for your lifestyle. And we got great deals going on right now. All you have to do is stop at one of the 14 dealerships throughout South Florida, take a test drive, and then sit down and get yourself a great deal during the holiday season. That's a great way to go. Hey, whether it's midsize, full-size, or heavy-duty truck, Chevy never going to let you down, ever. Durable and absolutely custom-made for your lifestyle. Hey, check it out for yourself. Stop by your South Florida Chevy dealers this vacation.
Today's topics are sponsored.
Headlines brought to you by Doral Volkswagen, home of the Pricito, our lowest price. Visit us at Doral Volkswagen or at DoralVolkswagen.com. The Panthers, they host the LA Kings tonight at 7 right here on 560 WQAM. The Heat, they're back in action tomorrow at 7:30 against the Brooklyn Nets. 2 bowl games tonight at 5 o'clock, the Cure Bowl featuring USF and Old Dominion. Then at 8:30, it's the 68 Ventures Bowl between Louisiana Lafayette and Delaware. On the weather, sponsored by Chill Zone AC, featuring reliable Rude AC systems. Make your AC great again. Visit chillzoneac.com. Temperatures rising to the high 70s. Slight chance of rain, partly cloudy skies here in South Florida. I am Dan Day. Now back to the Joe Rose Show here on 104.3 FM WQAM.
Hey! 9 o'clock hours here. Good morning to everybody. Dave Hyde with us all day. Dan Day doing the updates with us. And Jamie back there just swiping his little rear end off, trying to get
You
himself.
think he's actually working here, or he's swiping right? Did you see him? Is he swiping right now?
He
it
can do
addiction?
Swiping on the clock, Joe? None of that.
No, I'm doing it
man
after.
here.
That's
You're
at
right.
night.
You
That's
can't
doing it at
embarrass.
night.
You can't embarrass him.
Hey, I got to ask you one question about that. I'm always curious.
What's up?
When you meet the girls in person, do they look like their picture? That's all I want to know. Most of the time?
Usually they do.
Okay.
In my experience, at least. But to be fair, I'm on the younger side, so there's not a lot of
Correct.
There's
Yeah.
not a lot of gap for them.
It's not
to
like that
post
for-
an
like-
old picture.
yeah.
You know? It's not like, they're posting a picture from 10 years ago because 10 years ago they were 13,
The Dolphin media guides might like 40 years old. They use an old NBC shot, and it was like
You
200
don't go
years
after
ago.
the older women. I mean, you don't have that attraction.
I don't judge.
You're not an ageist.
I got to
What
tell
are
you.
your parameters? What age group do you have as your parameters on the app?
Lately I've had it to 18 to 30.
Lately,
30
It changes.
Yeah, I'm 24.
and 18?
Yeah,
18,
I'm right in the middle of that gap,
18
Joe.
seems very young for a 24-year-old.
that's on the lower end, and 30 is definitely on the higher end. I don't match with a lot of 18, 19-year-olds, but they're in the talent pool.
This kid's beautiful. He is beautiful. Now, I talked to him, man.
You can't,
He never backs
you can't
down.
get under his skin.
No,
I
you
see.
can't. I've tried everything. I even thrown his mom out there one day. He just laughed. So,
Unflappable. I'm like that quarterback we got over here.
Oh, right back to
well, listen, here we go. Speaking of that, and this afternoon, we're going to find out Mike McDaniel's decision at the quarterback. Tua, you said 100%.
You do
Tua's-
not go down that.
Tua's
You
sitting
don't
down.
take one step down that road of benching the franchise quarterback for the
It's
past several
almost
years
like-
without.
Mike doesn't even have to say when he has that meeting with them. He doesn't have to say that much. He just says, "Hey, we're going to make a change." And Tua wouldn't go, "Well, why are you making a change? Well, what am I doing wrong?" He goes, "Everything."
I agree. I don't know if Tua is aware of how bad he's playing. The way he talks,
No,
the
I
way he
agree.
talks after games this whole season. I'm like,
He hit it with a lot of we the other day. And honestly, I was thinking after that game, there should be no we. That 3 quarters did not call for we. That called for me. Not a we, a me. Me. We got to play better. Anyway, Zach Wilson, Quinn Ewers, the other 2 quarterbacks, if that's the case. So Dave Hyde is telling me from the Sun Sentinel, it's 100% there's going to make a change. Perk said what, 70%?
yeah. Let me take an aside. Muhammad Ali was a poet, and he once wrote a poem, "Me, we." So that's the whole Tua, me, and we thing. But Muhammad Ali made it a little more fun.
Yeah.
But yes, Perk said 70%. I go 100%, and you're going less than Perk. You're 50-50.
First of all, I believe it's Mike McDaniel's decision. I don't think he's being told by an owner what to do. Now, he have to tell the owner if he's making a change,
Right.
because the owner's going, so what are we doing? But I got to tell you, there's this thought that the owner, Stephen Ross, whether you like him or not, that he's telling the team what to do.
I don't think
He does
that's
not
the
jump
case.
in personnel. He does not
No.
tell them who to draft. He never has. He'll ask about guys. I do know he'll ask about guys, or he'll have a buddy, probably somebody close to him, going, "Hey, ask him about this guy. He's really good." And he would call Chris, and Chris gone, oh, we don't like him, or, oh, yeah, we like him, but not, not this is where we like him. By the way, that was one of the things Chris did really well was his communication with Stephen Ross. And, he knew how to play the game with the owner.
Yeah, and that's where the owner's got to be better, though. I mean, to me, the football decisions that he's made, he's got to be better, and holding people accountable for
nobody
their
will
decisions.
disagree by results. And by the way, what's crazy? Stephen Ross is in a tough business of development, and it's so weird to see. Of course, he knows it inside and out. He knows what it should look like. He knows what it should feel like. He knows at the end of the day how much it should make. He gets in this football, and I've always felt like, hey, guys, you guys know what you're doing. I hire you and pay you a lot of money to make decisions and just keep me up on it.
I think that's exactly what he doesn't get into it. It's Wayne Huizenga was the same way. I'm going to go out and try to hire the best people. I remember talking to Wayne, the difference between sports and business, though. And he said, look, in business, if I have a problem in an area, I go out and hire the best person.
Yes.
I can go and I just say, how much will it take to get you? I can't do that with a quarterback. You can't go out and say, who's the best quarterback?
Yeah.
I'm going to go high. And there's a fundamental difference. And I remember talking to Jimmy Johnson once, and I said, talk about owners, and he goes, none of them know the sport at all.
Yeah.
And he's talking about obviously Jerry Jones, but on down, basically, none of them really understand football, but even
they're fans of it.
They're fans.
They're
right.
fans of the
Absolutely.
game. By the way, they have like we do. I've been very open. I got favorite players on the team. I got guys I like. I have a few guys I don't know that well, and I got a few guys I don't care for. And so I think he's probably the same way. He's around guys,
Sure.
and he likes, and some guys are better people skills to be around, and some guys know how to play the game. And then guys, they're just flat out, he knows are really good. Like Tom Garfinkel, the CEO, he knows is a really good CEO.
He makes a lot of money
he has taken that piece of property and he goes, we are maxing this property out on cash.
But ultimately, the owner for a winning team has to do one thing, and that's hire that one guy. That one guy
yes,
who can set everything else up for you. Mickey Harrison did it with Pat Riley. Vinny Viola did it when the Panthers finally got turned around, right? Because they were years where they were in trouble, but they finally got turned around with the one hire and
they had a jackpot on that GM. Good God,
yeah, but
with that head coach, that was a marriage made in sports heaven. That marriage between those two.
Yeah, and that was difficult because remember the Panthers won the President's Cup as the best regular season team, and that coach got fired. Not good enough. We can't win in the playoffs this way, and so. But there's the one guy that Steve Ross hasn't been able to find or locate, and that's what he's got to find.
It's tough, man. It's just there's a lot of parts to it. It's a 53-man roster. It's hitting on drafts. It's hitting on free agents. It's the money thing.
It's one thing. It starts with one thing. And I say 60% of the GM's job is the quarterback.
That topic today. That topic that we're talking about.
This is it. And
by the way, the play is just at a all-time low right now. The play at that position, and has been. It has been for a while. Anyway, we got to get caught up here. We got to get you just saw the GM walking around here. We're going to get all caught up here on everything. Don't say what we talked about. That was crazy.
I'm not going to.
Hey, we want to take a second here, though, and talk about something pretty important. Atlantic Men's Clinic. Man, I got to tell you, if you're dealing with ED or low T right now, low T being energy level in a fog, not sleeping well, moody, and just not the energy you used to have that kept you active, and you were doing a lot of things. On the weekends, you were just staying busy and active. Now you're on the couch, and you've gained 15 or 20 pounds because you're eating the same amount of food, but you're not exercising. And then, the worst one, the hard-hitting one mentally is ED, and I had them both. I mean, full-blown. Sex drive was not hit and miss. It was gone. I went to Atlantic Men's Clinic. I'm so glad I did. And I can't think of a better holiday gift to give you to go to Atlantic Men's Clinic if you're dealing with it right now. I don't care if you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s. It happens to every guy out there. But if you're going through it, to go to Atlantic Men's Clinic and knock it out. How about I'm telling you right now, they have treatments with success rates well over 90%. I'm talking about damn near 100%. You're going to hit a home run. Schedule a consultation with Atlantic Men's Clinic today. Set up that first appointment. You get the PSA test. You'll meet with their professional staff, and you get right down to it. And they see the numbers, and they're going to put you on a program that's perfect for you. It's safe, and you're going to get great results. 7 locations in South Florida to serve you. By the way, brand new one in Hollywood. I go to Plantation. Great store. Love the people in there. Great. I called it a store. I can't believe I did that. Hey, listen, you're in for great results with great people they have. 877-455-7300. Set up that first appointment for the holiday season. How would you like to get all your energy back and your sex drive back like it used to be? You can with Atlantic Men's Clinic. Go to AtlanticMen'sClinic.com. It works.
We've got plenty of
conversations that I have with the owner, between myself and the owner. Bottom line is, like everybody else, he wants to win football games, is disappointed when we don't. But, I think that the biggest thing is that my job, as he's hired me to do it, is to do the best thing for the football team. So a lot of times that's doing the hard thing. But regardless, it's always with that same best interest in mind, which is what gives us the best chance to win.
Boy, that sounds like a change is coming right there. Talking about Stephen Ross, the owner, Mike McDaniel, and making tough decisions. And today we'll find out this afternoon when Mike's going to have his press conference to see if he makes a change with Tua. Sounds like it. Zach Wilson or Quinn Ewers, the former Jets quarterback, or a guy he drafted in the 7th round out of Texas. Sunday, 1:00, Joe Burrow and Cincinnati will be in town as the Dolphins now sit at 6-8. Everybody, it's going to be a huge story to find out today what happens. Of course, we'll have it here at QAM all day for you, all day, and the guys in the afternoon will know if that press conference around 2:30 or so.
Just think, Joe Burrow took Cincinnati Super Bowl, Justin Herbert, Jordan Love, and Jalen Hurt. The other quarterbacks taken into his draft, all of them are doing pretty well on their team. I mean, they've done well.
Yeah. Well, we're going to find out today. Matter of fact, Chris Perkins is going to join us, Dolphins writer for the Sun Sentinel, and we'll talk to Perk about all this. He got a little different take than a lot of us on everything from the top, trying to get this thing flipped around. And so if you like Dolphin stuff, we're going to have a lot of it coming up next with Chris Perkins.
The Joe Rose Show is presented by Loctite